I've got nothing. Sorry, no intro today, no cold cuts. Greetings, programs, and welcome back to the Gamification, a place where us fellow geekers like to get together and talk about all the things happening in the world of movies, gaming, animation, comics, and whatnot. Yeah, no intro. I had no idea what to do. I just completely blanked. I'm like, alright, let's get into it. This video is going to be a few days late. Sorry. Things, I just caught up on things. Got caught up in things. So let's get started with the first segment I like to call New News. It's good news. Not always. There are one, two, three big items on in the news that I kind of picked out. Alright, so, okay. So the first point. Okay, the first news item, State of Play, Sony's response to Nintendo's Direct. This is from, I got this from pushsquare.com. So let's get into it. This sounds kind of interesting. No E3? No problem. We've been wondering for a while what Sony will do this year since it's not at the LA Expo. And here's your answer. As many predicted, the Japanese giant will be hosting a series of live broadcasts. The first of which is only a few days away on the 25th of March. It begins at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 11 o'clock UK time. But in Australia, that's 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. According to the company, these State of Play showcases will highlight PlayStation 4 announcements and updates. On paper, it sounds similar to what Xbox has been doing with its Inside Xbox episodes, I guess you could call them, where they give you a kind of a wrap-up of what's happening that month with the Xbox company. Okay, but we're sure that the hype is about to go overboard and people will quickly pump their expectations to extreme levels. Extreme! That's standard whenever it's like PSX, Gamescom or E3, Sony's usually had a really big a showing, like they do a big production or something, and they show a lot of great games, big AAA titles. So it makes sense with this, people going, oh, maybe we'll see some really good stuff. Maybe we'll see some updates for possibly Final Fantasy VII Remake. Don't get your hopes up. And just some other new stuff that they haven't really mentioned. For reference, the official press release reads, quote, State of Play will give you updates and announcements from the world of PlayStation. Our first episode will showcase upcoming PS4 and PSVR software, including new trailers, new game announcements, and new gameplay footage. Awesome. Yeah. End quote. That's awesome. It's neat package, as in there's not much else to say. You got the time, you got the date. Let's go, really. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for something along this lines with Sony, or are you just like, okay, new news is new news, or new news is good news? Okay, moving on. News number 2. New details revealed of Google's streaming service. This is from gamesindustry.biz. Google has detailed its new game streaming service. It's called Stadia, Stadia. Weird name. A cloud-based games platform accessed across all devices. The service will see users playing games via internet streaming on smartphones, tablets, desktops, laptops, and TV via the Chromecast Ultra HDMI streamer. With full cross-play support, there is no hardware required, no dedicated console. It's all you really need is like Google Chrome or Chromecast and the internet. which is pretty cool. Maybe a Google account. This is enabled by Google's global infrastructure with data centers in more than 200 countries and territories around the planet. The service will launch later this year. There's no mention of how the business model will work, whether users will pay for a subscription or buy licenses for individual titles, but this is expected to be shown off later in the year when it more likely is to be launched. As expected, the technology... games industry, I mentioned that. The service, as expected, the technology builds on the Project Stream test from October last year. That's the one where they said, hey, play Assassin's Creed Odyssey without any real significant frame drops or anything, or any bad bugs, or like ridiculous loading screens. On your Google Chrome browser. So they said that, and people would test it. They beta tested, I guess you could say, or alpha tested, more likely. So they go on to say, with Google CEO Sundar Pichai, I want to say, but I'm sorry if I messed that up, describing the service as probably the worst kept secret in the industry. Yeah. While this test was limited to 1080p, Google claims Stadia streams can be played up to 4K at launch at 60 frames per second, complete with HDR and surround sound. I watched the stream and they even touted up to 8K. And there are plans to introduce... Sorry, I should have read this article a bit more before talking. And there are plans to introduce 8K streaming in the future, with the company believing its adoption to be inevitable. If you want more information and more technical specs about this project, I'm going to put a link down below. So the games industry full article will go into more of that details. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below if you are excited for the Google Stadia. The Google streaming service, I guess anyone could call it. Okay, news number 3. Oh, got you there. Disney reportedly taking... I'm an idiot. Oh boy. Disney reportedly taking Star Wars license from EA and giving it to Lucasfilm Games. This is from epicstream.com. This is more of a rumor than actual news, but I was kind of scrounging for decent news articles. Fans recently jumped for joy when reports came in about Disney seemingly reviving Lucasfilm Games, which a lot of fans know as LucasArts. Many of us were hoping it will lead to a number of cool new games like Monkey Island or even Knights of the Old Republic, but it looks like they might just be brought back to manage Star Wars games. However, there's a good chance that it was also brought back so that EA won't have the license anymore. According to Games Radar, EA and Disney haven't had the best relationship in recent years, obviously, especially after the controversy surrounding Star Wars Battlefront 2. While the company is working on Jedi Fallen Order, we don't know we don't know what their future will be after that game. Reports from years before have claimed that EA isn't super thrilled with the license either, since Disney is really strict about what they should put in the game. Yeah, like this, from what I noticed, like they use all the assets and sound design and stuff like that is great from the 2 games that they've brought out. Oh, and the mobile game, I think, but that was already out because that has like Legends characters in it. But yeah, it hasn't really done anything really new or spectacular. It hasn't really, I don't know. It's just sometimes like when I read the novels, like the new novels, or like I watched Solo for instance, I was just like, okay. It was a kind of blur, but like you get some good authors, they're like, wow, this is amazing. This really goes into like more in-depth character development and stuff like that. But like, for example, Battlefront 2 campaign, it was very hit and miss, I guess you could say. It was very what would you call it? Like, very middle of the road, I guess. Like, it had some cool action scenes, but it didn't really do anything great with character, even though the the performance capture was pretty awesome. Yeah. Anyway, continuing on. While a lot of fans would be happy about this, we don't know anything. Yeah, so nothing's really officially announced with with the Lucasfilm games, but I heard something from Ken Napzok on Collider. Not personally, it was just on the Collider General Council, where they said this is actually old news. Where Lucasfilm was, there was a report saying Lucasfilm Games is hiring people to help develop games or something like that, but it's more Lucasfilm Games now it's part of Disney, is actually kind of more of a, what's the word? A communication, like a, I can't think of the word. More of a consultant to other games developers, third-party games developers or whatnot, like EA and whoever else will hopefully get the license if that ever happens. So, yeah, that might not be the case. Like, it might not actually be an actual games developer's like, let's fingers crossed that LucasArts comes back. I'm not sure that will actually ever happen ever again. But we can only hope, I guess. Okay, that's it for the main news points. But there will be other stuff that I want to show you in the next segment that I like to call... Yep, on the nose board, just little tidbits and stuff that I thought might interest you, or it definitely interests me in some way or another. Okay, first one, there is a new Legend of Zelda game going to be released. It's being made, but it's a third-party version, or it's like a collaboration version where it's called Cadence of Hyrule, right? But it's from the makers of Crypt of the Necrodancer. And yeah, it's like they've got their character from Crypt of the Necrodancer and they've put it into their version of Legend of Zelda game. It's like a kind of group-based... it's hard to explain, so I'm going to put a link down below for the trailer. So you can watch that and go see if you're interested. It looks really cool. But I think this is... I wouldn't say the first time, because a Hyrule Warriors is like a collaboration game, right? It's Dynasty Warriors and Legend of Zelda mashup, right? But to have like an actual 2D isometric game... that has been set, has Nintendo's blessing going, hey, yeah, make a third-party version of Legend of Zelda. And it's not just like a Zelda clone, it's a proper Legend of Zelda title. So this looks really interesting. So yeah, go give it a watch. Oh yeah, I saw number 2, I guess you could call this, the second point. I saw Captain Marvel. Liked it. Really good. Really fun. It's not like, wow, oh my god, this is incredible or anything. But it was very... I don't know. It was like a... I don't want to give scores. I hate giving scores because that sets like a definite point on... And then people aren't going to talk about anything else except for that number. Like some of the story, like the plot points, I get, but it didn't really enthrall me. It didn't really make me kind of feel for some of the characters, like the scroll. How do you call them? Scroll. They were pretty cool. There was a bit of a twist with them, so that was really weird. I wasn't expecting that. The fight scenes were awesome, and some of the soundtrack was okay, but like I got some of the music and some of it, I don't know, it just didn't feel right at some points, I guess. It felt like they were trying hard to get the music to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy or anything else, I guess, like that, when you have like cool music. Flashbacks were cool. It really gave a bit more depth to Carol Danvers' past and what her personality was like, except this whole, like, you start off, she has amnesia, right? She doesn't remember anything about her past, and I hate amnesia stories, especially when it's because it's not even their story anymore, it's your story. You're when you have an amnesia character, the audience is putting their thoughts and feelings into a character. This is like from game design aspect, I guess you could say. But that's kind of boring when you want to consume other people's stories. Like, how... It's kind of like they did world building, but they didn't do much character building for Carol Danvers, for Captain Marvel. So, it was... I don't know, it just fell a little bit, and... I don't know about, like, most of the other people, their script was good. Most of the other characters' script was good. But Carol Danvers' script was kind of bland. It, I don't know, just was kind of a bit deadpanned, I guess you could say. Still really fun, though. Action was great. Her powers, the way her powers worked were pretty cool. And there was another twist about that as well, because in the recent comic that I read a few chapters on, the 2018 comic. Her mum was actually a Kree, and she fell in love with the human, and Carol Danvers is actually half Kree, half human. Pardon me. So the way they did it in the movie was almost totally different, and I thought that was pretty amazing. So yeah, go see it. It's what, like at 900 million at the box office at the moment. I think that's domestic as well, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, go see it, go watch it for yourself, tell me what you think, leave comments down below, hit me up on the socials, and I'd love to hear from you about what your thoughts were on any of that stuff. I had that one, but secure, nah, forget that. Oh! I watched Dora the Explorer movie trailer. Surprised, and in a good way. Just a second. Hot. It was a well-built trailer, I'm trying to say. It looked fun, it looked like it was a great adventure. It had that humorous Latino guy from Ant-Man 1 and 2. He's kind of like the dad, I believe. And so, yeah, the whole plot's like the mum and dad go missing in the jungle, and she has to go find them, and she's trying to go to a public school or something as well. It's really weird. But she's very cartoony-esque, not as in her look, because it's a live action with really weird CG, because it's a Nickelodeon movie, and I don't think they're really that great at CG stuff. Like CG animals and whatnot. But she's just like way too bright and uppity, I guess you could say. But yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested. I'll put a link for that down below as well. It's just a bit of fun, you know, it's just a bit of fun. Just checking. No, nothing important there. Okay. Rumors abound. I'd better go to the actual thing. Oh, yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-doo. Oh yeah, so there's a rumor going around, and it's kind of rumor, kind of not, that the Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones developers, not the series developers, they're making. We already know that they're making Star Wars film series, I guess you could say. But the rumor, this is an old rumor, honestly, but there has been some kind of substantiation. Is that a word? That their movies could be set in the Old Republic. It wouldn't be. I don't think it would be actually like Knights of the Old Republic, a storyline, like with Revan or anything like that. But it could be 1,000 years before, like the Revenge of the Sith, I guess, because in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine says, "Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy," and people tend to forget that, which is weird, because they're basing it off, I guess. Because they're thinking of Legends, when Sith always tried to take over the galaxy, but they never really did, which was weird. But in Revenge of the Sith, it's canon that the Sith ruled the galaxy 1,000 years ago, and that's probably around the same time as when Bane comes into it and reforms the Sith as the rule of two, right? One to embody the power, the other to crave it. So, if they do that, that could be the whole thing, where the Sith are ruling and then the Jedi come and defeat them or something. It could, because we know with the Game of Thrones series, it's a lot of lore stuff. So they could really get into the nitty gritty of it. There's plenty of Legends material out there to help support that. So let's get into it. I want to read some of this. I got this from Star Wars News Net, and they're pretty reliable on their information. A contact who has worked on every Disney Star Wars film has shared some interesting information. According to them, the next Star Wars films could possibly begin filming this fall. And it will be the first film in a series of films by Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. I'm trying, and this is the, who's running it? Okay, John Hoey's writing this. I am trying to get some confirmation on this information from other places, but as of now, I only have one source, so I can only report this as a rumor. So use your pinches of cinnamon as you wish. Because of the simple fact, I can't say I am as confident in this as I am about the Obi-Wan Kenobi streaming service report. Though the source provided proof, they have worked on every Star Wars film since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm and claim they are 95% confident this is accurate. I'll cut this bit out. Okay, so the source goes into, quote, approached about working on the next movie this autumn. So that's spring for us in Australia. It is not the Rian Johnson trilogy, it is the Game of Thrones guy's first movie and is set during the Old Republic, as Disney wants to open up the Star Wars timeline and appeal to more Game of Thrones style audience. This really seems to be on the nose in terms of what fans, end quote. This really seems to be on the nose in terms of what fans have been wishing for from these guys, so I asked for clarity on what else he heard about the project. Quote, so the timeline is hundreds of years prior to the Skywalkers, so think about Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings. Oh, end quote. That could mean it's a bit more, I don't know if you could say, this is, like, maybe they shoot it, but at the start it says this is set more in the realm of fantasy or something. So it'd be interesting to see if there'll actually be war stuff and, like, technology. If it's hundreds of years, this still should be, pardon me, if it's hundreds of years, there should still be pretty advanced technology, but it probably still looked like a used universe and stuff like that, just how George wanted it, so that should be good. I asked if there was any grasp on something tangible happening for this production yet, or if it was all strictly talk discussion based. And according to our source, the art department are doing pre-production on the work as we speak. Quote, filming starts in the fall and art departments are in design phases now, as the script is being finalised. That is all I know, but I'm 95% confident that this is accurate. This is from the source, end quote. Yeah, so, this is still rumours. Remember, it's still rumours, but this is interesting. I didn't think that they'd be this far along because I thought Rian Johnson's would be first. But then again, if it's just pre-production, we might not see it till late 2021. I can't remember. I think Rian Johnson's was going to be 2020. So if that's the case, then possibly 2021 for the Benioff and Weiss first movie. Okay. That's it for all my news and speculation stuff. Now, I want to just read off a few games coming out this week. Turok Remastered on the Switch. The Messenger on PS4. I'm pretty sure that's already out, but it came up on my list. Fate Extella? Fate Extella Link. PS4, Nintendo Switch, Vita. American Ninja Warrior Challenge. Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. Steins Gate Elite. PS4. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, Sin and Sacrifice. So I'm assuming that's an expansion. Xbox One and PS4. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Everybody! Nintendo Switch PS4. I think this is like a remaster or a remake. I can't remember, but people have been talking about it on some of my forums. Yeah, so go check that out. Nuclear Throne is on the Switch. Impossible Mission on the Switch. That's an old game. Not Mission Impossible. Impossible Mission. Azure Saga Pathfinder. Nintendo Switch. Super Phantom Cat on the Switch. Baseball Stars 2. Xbox One and the Switch. And of course, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Alright guys, that's it for me today. Thanks for sticking around for as long as you have. Let me know of any thoughts or information about anything that I talked about. The Star Wars rumours, the EA licensing rumour kind of stuff. What do you think about the Google streaming service, Stadia? Or even, or are you excited for this State of Play info segment, I guess, Sony's going to be putting out. Alright, remember to hit me up on any of my socials. What's today? Monday. So, I'm going to be doing streaming on Thursday. Yes, I promise you I will do some streaming. So just look on my Twitter or on Facebook or anything for a heads up on what time that will be. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. Remember to leave comments in the comment section as well. Remember to press that notification bell, right? Because sometimes my videos are late, sometimes they're early. You never know what's going to happen because I don't know either. I'm very whimsical like that, I guess you could say. It's actually poor time management. Anyway, guys, thanks again. I appreciate you watching all of my content. Check out my cool AOV I did as well. That was really fun. I did another one, but YouTube took it down. Damn you, Sony. But it's on the Facebook group, so if you want to see that one, it's on there as well. that's it. Thanks again. Jacko out and of line.